morning to Tom and Laurie, watching in Big Sky, Montana, as we look at former champion Jim Furyk.
Now back up at 11. Stewart Cink for birdie. Stewart going much better of late. Played well last week. Good to see him. Good man.
He is a good man, and his wife Lisa is fighting the battle at the moment, and we wish her all the best.
Now back over 3. The beef. Second shot.
Easy.
218. You know, Darren, you were talking yesterday. He's quite a character, but he can really play as well.
Well, he's got game first, and you know he loves all the fun side of things, and he's brilliant the way he interacts with the crowds, and everybody has a bit of a laugh with him. But he can play.
Moment ago, Satoshi Kodaira here on the 4th, approaching this little par 4. And that divot flying back into his face.
But now he's going to have what Mama told you not to ever do, hit bunker shots into the wind. That and a few other things. But now back over 11. Speed second shot. Up the hill a little bit. Wind down to the right.
I found they're going to have a good look at it there.
There's certain holes they're going to have to take advantage of here, all depending on where the wind's coming from.
You're going to have some pin positions, some hole locations that are much easier to get close to. You can use the wind a little bit to get to them, but you're right, Curtis, you know, there's going to be so many tough holes out there that you have to take advantage of those opportunities when they present themselves.
Tough day for Paul Casey yesterday, 75.
All because he made the triple over there on 3. I was with him all day, as well as Brian Harman. He just hit a poor second shot, but then got very unlucky. Put it over there in the high heather and high rescue. I keep calling it heather. It's as tough as heather.
It is.
But and when you make triple at the 3rd, it's just hard to recover from that.
But he tried to do the right thing, Curtis, and chip out sideways, but just went right underneath the ball, out of fresh air.
Well, it was so impressive with his comeback in the second round after a treble on the 14th. But as we look to Jack Maguire here on the opening hole. And a quick mention of Ireland's Lisa Maguire winning the Women's British Amateur Championship yesterday. Attends Duke University.
Wonderful,
Devil.
wonderful player.
Leona Maguire, I beg your pardon. Lisa's her twin.
She's going to be out on the ladies' tour very soon, I'm sure.
I'd say so. Here's Kodaira. Leona is #1 in the women's world rankings, and they'll be joined by Hannah O'Sullivan next season, former women's amateur champion in Portland. Things looking up for the Blue Devils.
Now Keegan Bradley for birdie. Doesn't look real tough, but down the hill and will swing a lot from his right. We always talk, it is about line and speed and putting your putter on that line, but sometimes it's hard to match those up when you have such a breaker like this.
Only sometimes, Curtis. Frequently.
Good effort. A little bit easier, or at that speed a little bit more to the left.
Scotty Scheffler having it on his own way here on this opening hole. This is his 4th shot in the amateur. Working for the 3rd shot.
This is one of the Curtis now we're just talking about there. He was par 5, got a chance to make birdie, and it's when you break it off to a good start and try and get your round going early.
Texas Longhorns, Scotty Scheffler from his sister Callie. Texas A&M, she's on the bag.
It's a tough hole location to get. You've got a really strong shoulder feeding into the green from there. The pin's tucked just behind it, and the wind blowing across. It's going to be hard to get right in there.
Now Spieth for birdie. Very makeable. It's one of those good putts that just didn't go in.
Last year and the year before that, they all went in, Curtis. That's the difference. He's playing every bit as well, but just not quite making the amount of putts.
Isn't that the difference? We were talking earlier in the week, Darren, is the fine line between winning tournaments and all of a sudden we're writing off his, his slump.
Yeah.
It's all about making a putt here and there.
That's all it is, Curtis. It's not making a putt here and there. It's making that putt here and there at the right time.
Right.
It's those momentum putts, and they're the ones that he just hasn't been making of late.
But the game doesn't change from day to day, from tee to green very much. Oh, you have good days and you have some not so good days. But if you putt, you can salvage those not so good days into good rounds.
Most definitely, what the pros do, they turn 75, 76s into 70s and go out and play the next day and shoot a 64, 65, 66, and all of a sudden it's a good week. But you got to putt well to do that, Curtis.
Maguire for an eagle here on the first. He had the eagle yesterday, and this was it. Florida State. Ranked 569th in the world, but playing like a superstar there on the first yesterday. What can he deliver today?
Trying to get a bit of feel for it there, as Gil mentioned there a moment ago. Big shoulder here, so this is probably going to break an awful lot from right to left and just trying to figure out the speed. Almost got to put it up to the edge of the green there, Gil, to get it to come back down to the hole.
Yeah, you absolutely do. It's a big, strong slope. Principally, it was supposed to be used to kick shots into the green with your second shot when it was reachable.
That was one of those putts that the higher you go, the faster it was going to be coming down towards the hole. But if you go a little bit straighter like he did there, then you always run that risk of hitting it 10, 12 foot past.
So we go to 3.
Beef Johnson, this for birdie from just off the back fringe. Big swinger, very much down the hill.
Scotty Scheffler now has this for a birdie on the first.
Slow going up the hill that way, obviously. Breeze, uphill into the breeze. Always difficult to get putts like that to the hole.
Big Ernie here on the 14th. Third shot. What a rhythm.
Casey Kerr there is caddy. Been out here on tour for a long time. All he does is be telling Early what a wonderful guy he is all day long. One of the best cheerleaders you come across.
Positive reinforcement, though, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. And Casey will be taking all the credit for that one. Ernie just hit it. All the good stuff with Casey.
Well, he pitched up at the Masters this year, knowing that this could be the last time that he'll be there, but obviously he's got a great history in the US Open and the Open Championship. As we look at Brandon Grace here on the second. But Ernie Els coming to the end of his 5-year exemption for winning the Open Championship at Royal Inn St. Anne's. Maguire gets the birdie.
Nice comeback putt there. That's one of my pet peeves with 3 putting par 5s. That they just hurt.
12s now. Spieth. Very unhappy with the line he took yesterday.
Wind. Come on, wind.
And he landed in a similar area, but not as bad. That's okay there.
I got no push from that.
Scotty Scheffler has this for a par. Ooh.
That's okay.
It is now.
Well, he's taking a breath again now. He's just walking off the green.
You can breathe, son, breathe.
Kuchar. Chance for a 3. Mark it down as a 3.
Speaking about putting, this guy's been he's been a great putter for a long time. Very solid with that method. Rolls them in with not much regularity.
Now Kevin Kisner over at 13. Today playing 216 yards. Much easier hole location. The last 2 days have been front left, front right. Really tough to get it close. Wonderful shot there.
Now, Martin Keimer, who ran away with things at the U.S. Open at Pinehurst, number 2. With putts like that. And we say hi to Tom Pashley and his hard-working crew down there in Pinehurst. So Maguire will be first to go here at the second.
Well, we've seen big hitters come close to this green. McIlroy drove it on this green the first day. That's certainly not going to be the case. And you see our graphic, our anemometer, gusting in his face. That was a big word.
That was
And a
beyond
tongue
my
twister.
comprehension.
You know, I finally woke you up, Clarky, didn't I? But now, instead of driving it over the edge of that bunker, go well left of the bunker. A lot of fairway that you can't see here.
Good there. If you take a look at this pin position, it's 26 back and 4 off the right hand side. So the further left you get yourself, the better angle you have with your little pitch shot coming in. Anything over to the right today off that tee, you're not going to be able to get anywhere near that flag.
Scheffler.
A little bit more lap, but he's good there. Good shit, both of them.
From Ridgewood in New Jersey. We were at Ridgewood last year for the U.S. Junior Girls. Kevin Chappell now with his second shot here on the par 5 opener. Oh, that's a good shot. That was from 274 yards.
Iron in from 274. Impressive.
He's got the white hat right now, but he was wearing the black one on the practice tee. We need a replacement.
Yeah, let's just say all the hats are cinched down a little bit tighter than they were yesterday. Trust me, I got to get out there in this stuff.
You have a couple of those Phil Mickelson paper clips going on. As we look at speeds. Oh, creative.
The only way, if you hit it into the rougher, you can use backside either side of this green and try and run it in that way and slow the ball down. It is one of the few greens on the golf course you can actually run the ball in, Gil. I think that was designed deliberately this way because of the little blindness of the shot.
It certainly does. It just nestles down in that little valley.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Now back on 9, Jordan Nibrugi, +3 for the championship. Brewers talk quite a lot about this little hole just in the middle of the green. Wind coming out of the right. Don't take on the flagstick. think he's going to have a nice play. Yes, absolutely.
Bit of green to work with, sort of into the wind. For the
Wisconsin native, Jordan Nibrugi. Pretty cool stuff driving past this in my hometown. Yes, and great finish at the open, leading after 3 rounds, but it was Nibrugi who actually went on to win leading amateur awards there.
Where do you come up with this stuff?
I don't know. Voracious reading.
That means reading a lot.
That's a good word, yeah.
Now, big hitting Gary Woodland.
This is good fun in the box this morning. Well, it is the first time that the U.S. Open has been played here in the state of Wisconsin. We're here at Erin Hills. And one of the next men on the first tee had a hand in, well, a little bit of consultancy with the 3 designers, Dana Fry, Ron Whitten, and Dr. Michael Herdson. His name is Steve Stricker from Edgerton, Wisconsin. 50 years young.
This is the 12:20 starting time. Please welcome, from Madison, Wisconsin, Steve Stricker. And from Sweden, David Lingmer.
He's got as many U.S. Open appearances as Fox does.
He's a very tidy little player, Dibley. Much better than he gets credit for.
Biggest victory so far. We were just there a couple of weeks ago in Dublin, Ohio. Jack Nicklaus' Memorial Tournament. He was the winner. Now, Jordan Spieth missed his birdie putt here on the 12th, so this is for a par. To stay 2 under for the day, 2 over for the championship. That's a pity.
He moves early. We mentioned this yesterday. He moves very early whenever he misses a putt. He knows as soon as you come off the blade that he hasn't quite started where he wanted to, and he does move very quickly after it.
A couple of wins of the US Junior in the Open. Good USGA record. As we go back to Nibrugi here on the 9th.
Not a difficult bunker shot, but it's made more difficult because of where the ball lies in the sand, and look at what his right foot is up on that mound. Going back into the wind, so it made it a little easier.
Well, it's short, but it is devilishly tricky. And Ken Brown took a look at this hole this morning for another brownie point.
This 9th is a fantastic short par 3. It's my favourite hole on the golf course. And today the pin's on the back of the putting surface, and it's guarded by this little hollow that guards the right middle of the putting surface, and it gathers the ball up. It's such a tiny putting surface anyway. Sometimes it even rolls off the green. But look where the flag is. How much ground you've got to work with is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Did perfectly.
What have we got left to say? Brownie's done it all there for us.
There you see the 9th hole at Erin Hills, playing the 172 today. Not part of the original routing, Gil Hanse.
Yeah, it was a hole they put in just to kind of bridge the gap between several holes, and it was an extra hole. It's just such a good golf hole. They had to figure out a way to get it in the design. So they got rid of what was the original 7th hole, the Dell hole, blind par 3, and they incorporated this into the routing. And it makes perfect sense.
Great little hole in the fact that you're coming off these 500-yard par 4s and 496 and 512, all these long holes, and then all of a sudden, I know it's been a little bit longer today, but you get thrown into this beautiful little short par 3.
Kevin Chappell now for a 4. Yes. Good start. Can't birdie them all if you don't birdie the first.
Wisdom.
I remember someone saying that to me, and I've never forgotten it.
Maybe you should.
I should forget that. The beef. Yes, indeed.
Are we going to have a smile? Are we going to say that? Is he going to flash the teeth at us? Is he? Is he? No.
Now back over at 9. De Broglie, this for par. USGA has slowed the greens down about 6 inches today, and good on them because the conditions are going to be so tough. I don't think that players will see any difference at all, though, because they will dry out quickly with these winds. It's no humidity out there. Keegan Bradley just a moment ago.
Nice shot there.
And they've actually changed this whole location from where it was originally cut.
First look at the 16th, the par 3 here at Erin Hills, and this is Kevin Doherty. He's choosing an 8 iron. Obviously the wind assisting. So many different teeing areas here, lots of variety. It's okay. Found the dance floor. As we go back to the tee, and Hao Tong Lee, hugely talented Chinese player.
Like that USGA.
With them playing so much downwind, trying to get the ball high enough to stop it quick enough to get close to that fly is going to be a challenge today.
It is actually into them there. It is swirling. He's chosen an 8 iron as well, in search of his first birdie of the day. Has a chance.
He didn't find it that difficult to get close to the hole. Good job.
Now, big Ernie.
Now back over at 15. Ernie Els, everybody's buddy. This for birdie. Pretty good looking stroke there. His swing has aged so well and will continue to age well. Now, just a moment ago, back over at 13, the par 3, this Jordan Spieth. Chances. They're making it look easy. That could very well be the best shot we see all day long on that hole.
Well, you can follow the US Open on Twitter, on Facebook and Instagram using the hashtag US Open. You can join in the conversation and find out what others are saying about this 117th edition of the US Open. As we look at Ricky Fowler, he's on 10 under after 68 yesterday, just arriving at the course ahead of his tilt at the title. Final round about to get underway for him.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Time this morning back in Ireland. All is happy in the camp.
That's always good.
Now they are all waiting on 18. We made the point yesterday in the essay at the conclusion of play that it was like a movie. If you've seen Field of Dreams, I mean, they built this and they have come in their droves. The bleachers are absolutely full already, and play will not conclude for another 6.5 hours here. But this was a moment ago on the first for David Lingmerth. That was from 97 yards for the Swede.
Now back over at the par 3, Keegan Bradley after that wonderful tee shot. This for birdie. Well done. And he was away. Jordan Spieth put it inside him on the tee, off the tee.
Now on the first here is Steve Stricker.
Stricker, one of those guys that hasn't aged a bit in the past 15 years. He's been the same size, one same size of pants. I've gone through about 10 different sizes of pants now. He hasn't changed nor aged a little bit in the last 15 years.
And remarkable kind of approach to his career, quality over quantity. Took sizable chunks of time off and eased back, but still was able to play to such a high level.
Now back over at 13. This to keep Keegan from getting skin on this hole. Yes. Boy, you certainly think you might win a couple of bucks with the 2 there, but not with this group.
Good hat.
Imagine 16th. It's been a really tough day at the office for Ao Tong Lee. But this for his first birdie of the day. Sometimes you're the pigeon, sometimes you're the statue.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
Some days it's your day, Curtis.
Yeah, you just have a tough day. You get days like that. You know, you have a US Open golf course in a very strong wind. They're out early and the wind's been blowing all day. It's just a tough day for them.
Now for the birdie. It almost went in for the eagle on the fly. Oh, Lord. Yikes.
Not as if you could blame a spike mark or anything, because these greens are pure.
Scotty Scheffler's here on the 3rd. One of only 2 amateurs to make the cut, along with Cameron Champ. Both very impressive ball strikers.
If we get a chance to watch Cameron Champ this afternoon, if he plays well, the word around the property is about this kid and how far he hits the golf ball. The word is he's the longest in the field. Incredible club head speed, that ball speed, all that stuff that doesn't make any difference to me. He hits it farther than anybody else. Just can create a lot of speed.
Coached by Sean Foley, I believe. Yep, the guys out here.
I think Sean was telling him, "You're swinging well, young man. Go get him. Leave him alone."
Did you play in the U.S. Amateur or the U.S. Open as an amateur, Curtis?
I did not. I tried to qualify one time at for the Wingfoot, the Massacre at Wingfoot in '74, and I, thank goodness, didn't make it.
Well, there you go. Cameron Champ is on 4 under off at 153. And here he is. Oh, he's just warming up the short game at the moment, getting ready to be off in 15 minutes. But such an impressive athletic striker of the ball as well. The swing is something to behold. Maguire now
For birdie at 3.
And Curtis, this is one of several new greens around the golf course. 3, 4. they put in preparation for the Open Championship, because they had basically greens that they didn't think were quite right for the championship and the needs required. So one of those new surfaces there, you can see segmented, a few little quadrants in it, a little bit different from a character standpoint, but it still sits beautifully in the land.
Oh, it lays in there beautifully. One of the tougher greens on the golf course.
It absolutely has been. The old green was up and to the left of this current green.
Just looking at that scoreboard over there, seeing all the guys cramped up at the top. 106 of the last 107 major champions were inside the top 10 after 54 holes.
Oh, what a beautiful tee shot there from Ernie. Almost hold it. And it's coming back.
It's a nice design feature. It's a downwind hole. You've got that tier in the back. I think this whole location is accessible because you know you've got room behind it.
Watch this again. Wow.
Or you can almost just fly it in the hole.
So bringing out the official just to observe the damage that was done around the cup area. But he made par. 2 putts. This is Matt Kuchar, former U.S. amateur champion.
One of the other new greens, the original green was just down and to the right front, a little bit more of a punch bowl green. This is sitting up on the ridge. Beautiful silhouette, nice skyline green. Again, part of the variety of the golf course. I think the architects have done a wonderful job in presenting different looks throughout this property in different angles, different twists and turns in the landscapes. And the sighting of their greens has been, I think, one of the highlights. Yeah, there we go. The beautiful little skyline will fall off to the backhand side of it.
How tough is it? Do you get it right the first time? Have you ever gotten it right the first time?
Boy, that's a tough one to answer without sounding like a bad guy. But yeah, I mean, you definitely, you're going to have twists and turns. In this property, the original design, they wanted to build a minimalist golf course. They wanted to have it be lay of the land, and they took out several blind shots that were part of the golf course to make it more of a quote-unquote championship test, a little bit more playable, a little bit more visible. But the original design was, you know, really just a nice homage to natural golf, and I think that they did a great job extracting the best holes on this property.
That was a good par there from Brandon Grace from Fancourt in South Africa, down in the town of George. And top 5s in the last 2 U.S. Opens, so that's a solid showing again here. And Kuchar now has this to tidy up for a 4.
Good doesn't miss those. Good as just said. That's good. Look at it.
14th, and Keegan Bradley on the par 5 with his 3rd shot. Nephew of the legendary Pat Bradley, a winner of the U.S. Women's Open back in 1981. Good morning or good afternoon to you, Pat. Hope that cowbell is still working. Every time Pat would win, they'd ring the cowbell at the front door.
I got it.
You didn't look as if you did. It's all right, you're not in view, so I don't know, we're just not so sure about that one, Gil. Yeah.
She's a very proud auntie. Anyway, as we look over at Jordan Spieth.
This angle, is it off the left or right or straight in? Sorry.
Walking the golf course early this week and seeing the players play the first 3 days on this hole. This is one of the quirkier shots on the golf course because it's a short shot, only 90 yards or so here. 111 for Jordan. Blind shot, can't see the surface. And when I say quirky, I don't mean bad. I mean it just keeps you off balance. You just don't know how far to fly it. You don't get a sense of the distance because you can't see anything.
Well, that's that lay of the land architecture. They really wanted to let the landforms dictate, and obscured visibility, I think, is a reasonable hazard. If you get in a player's head, because these guys are so good physically in the way they hit the golf ball, from an architect's perspective, I think the only things we can work on is getting in their heads, not letting them see everything, having them feel a little bit awkward over the shots.
And that's when it becomes vitally important, as we talked about earlier this week. You got to trust your caddy. The caddies are working hard this week. It's a long, hard walk for them, but as well, they've got to be on point with their numbers, and whatever number they will calculate, because of not being able to see the ball flag, as you said, Gil, depth perception comes into play. So you really got to trust them implicitly.
Second hole for Steve Stricker, short par 4. Let's go down to Shane Bacon. He is with one of the contenders, Tommy Fleetwood.
Thanks, Shane, here with Tommy. Tommy, all of a sudden, the wind picked up. Have you been paying attention to coverage this morning to see how players are reacting to this wind?
Not a lot. I haven't had much chance to watch. Yeah, I can tell how hard it'll be playing. And yeah, the wind is sort of what the course has missed for the last few days, I guess, with the scoring. So today's going to be a real different challenge. And we'll just see how it goes. But yeah, the course is definitely going to play a lot different today.
Do you feel like flighting your ball, playing it that way, or putting on these greens if the wind's gusting is more important?
Very good question. I mean, I don't know where they put the tees. Obviously, there's going to be some long holes, and you're going to be playing into the wind. Flighting your ball, keeping your ball under control is going to be massive. But yeah, putting where they can put the pins, there's, with the slopes of the greens and the speed. Putting in the wind is always that much tougher. I mean, all round, wind just makes the course play tougher. So everything's going to be important, and you just got to try and put it all together as best you can.
And your game plan all week has been playing to the center of the greens, playing away from these hole locations, and playing smart. Do you feel like that's going to really benefit you today?
As long as I hit the shots. It's all right having the plan, but you still got to hit it where you want to. So as long as I keep doing that, then things will be okay. But yeah, the plan won't change. We've gone over it this morning already, and we've looked at where we want to hit it, and we're just going to stick to that and see how we go. No matter what, just stick to where we want to hit it, and we'll see how we get on.
Tommy, appreciate it. Good luck today. Back to you, Shane.
Big day. Thank you very much. And Tommy, chasing place amongst these boys. Martin Keimer with that runaway victory in 2014. Lots of European champions in a bit of a successful run there. But Tony Jacklin is the man who started it off, really, 1970, and followed it up after that win in the Open in 69. GMAC, 40 years the gap. 2010 at Pebble Beach. Rory then the following year at Congressional. Justin Rose memorably in that tussle with Phil Mickelson at Merion in 2013.
And Beef here seems to go on with putter frequently for off the edge of the greens, as we mentioned earlier, Curtis.
You know, I'd like to make just a comment on the comments from Fleetwood there. You can have a game plan, whatever that is, but you never know what the conditions are going to suit you or how they're going to affect you when you get on the golf course, how you're hitting the golf ball. Every hole is going to be different than what you've seen before, as we watched Jim Furyk here at the first. And it depends on how well you play, how solidly you hit the ball. Because remember, there's only 3 ingredients to play this game. Put it in the fairway, put it on the green, and try to make a few putts. Now, everybody goes about that differently, but that's priority today.
Well, Fleetwood hits a lot of fairways and a lot of greens. It will be a fascinating watch to see how he manages it all today. Stricker now has this for a birdie on the second. Slippery those putts by a good 2 feet. Birdie putt for Spieth. Best round of the day so far out on the course. Couple under.
As we were talking earlier, a score anything about 70 today is a really, really good round of golf out there. Jordan tells us to go 3 under for the day. He's on target to beat that, so he's obviously playing very, very well.
Great response to that drop shot on the 12th. Such a lovely, tidy card in these conditions. Well, his buddy, Justin Thomas, is arriving. He will be out in the final group alongside Brian Harman. They're off at 3:54 p.m. Eastern. '18's U.S. Open at iconic Shinnecock Hills are now on sale, folks. You can visit usopen.com and click on the icon for tickets for more information. We hope to see you there. Jamie Lovemark was on the Walker Cup team with Ricky Fowler and Dustin Johnson and Webb Simpson 10 years ago, captained by George Buddy Marucci at Royal County Down. He is in this grouping along with the amateur Cameron Champ from Sacramento, California. And this is the swing they're all talking about. So watch out for these two big hitters.
This is the 12:53 starting time. Please welcome from San Diego, California, Jamie Lovemark. Sacramento, California, Cameron Champ.
And this is the man they're all talking about. 4 under.
338 yards. His average drive this week. Wow. He's not hitting too many off the toe with that. They're off the middle of the clubhouse.
Coached by Sean Foley. It's a little bit untidy.
Took a different line there than most of the guys who take this one.
You know, he just doesn't look as fast as his club head speed is, and as far as he hits it, he doesn't look like he jumps out of his shoes like a Justin Thomas.
I think that's just gifted talent, Curtis. We talked about it putting earlier.
T-A-L-E-N-T.
Yes, sir.
He has it and we don't.
Used to. Used to.
Zach Johnson. Nice shot into the first as we go to the other amateur who's up on the 4th. And this is for a 3, Scotty Scheffler. So that's going to be a very interesting battle now to see how these two guys perform, because there is the leading amateur award and there are 2 horses in the race. And he is now within 1 of Champ, who's in trouble already off the first tee shot.
Graham, this would be the first birdie at 9. That a moment ago, and boy, that's like stealing the half a shot from the rest of the field in this short par 3. How did he get back there?
Well, he got lucky. He must have thinned it a little bit.
Now over at 15, Jordan Spieth. The drivable par 4. Ooh, that not good.
Yeah.
Ooh. Now back way over on the other side of the golf course, number 5, Matt Kuchar for birdie.
He's walking up there talking to himself.
Paid a visit to this young man in Sheffield at his home just last week, Matt Fitzpatrick. He was amateur champion of 2013 in Boston over at Brookline. We go to Stricker on number 3.
Let's show you how long this par 4 is playing. Strick with a fairway metal. That's from 228 up the hill. Hurt and win. Pretty good leave.
Going to see some of these par 4s playing so long today, I think, Curtis.
First green, and this is a birdie attempt for a very, very good putter, Zach Johnson. Just overcooking it now, studying the line coming back.
He's very good at that.
Pro.
Yeah, he pays a lot of attention to. You'll always see Zach getting right behind it if he knows it's missing, and try and get the read of the putt coming back into the hole again.
Now the second at 15. This is what we might see later this afternoon. It's going to be could be a very pivotal hole in the outcome of this championship. All depends on how he can get the shaft going through the tall strands.
And yesterday we saw it playing as short as it'll play all week, and now, you know, today there's going to be a little bit longer length. Guys are going to have to think totally different game plan. I like the strategy of this hole. There's different zones you can hit it into. Yesterday was go ahead and give it a mighty blast, as we saw Justin Thomas do, but today a little bit more thought off the tee.
That little quadrant that they have the flag in there, that back right one is the firmest part of this green as well. But today it's into the wind, so they'll probably be a lot more aggressive.
Michael Greller and Jordan Spieth having a good old chat there as we go to Keegan Bradley here.
And once again, sorry there, Shane, uphill blind shot.
I love Ken Brown's description of the whole location on 18 yesterday. It looks like the flag missed the green, and I think when you're standing down below looking up at this green,
yes,
it's going to have the same kind of feeling. It's stuck out there on the edge. Speaking of edge conditions, you'll see some of that today.
We're not both halfway there. He's thinking, get up a little bit. I've hit a nice shot there. I'm going to have a nice chance for birdie. Not now.
I like watching this early golf because it gives us a sense of what we might see this afternoon, what to look forward to.
As we go back to the first, and Zach Johnson now has this for a 5. Oh, miscue.
Oh.
Needs to regroup. It's windy out there, and that is an unforced error.
That was a bit of a reaction from Zach there. He's just not used to missing them.
And he holds more than his fair share, but there's no doubt about that. But not a great start for the 2015 Open champion, Zach Johnson from Iowa. Well, let's just fill you in at 2:54 local time here in Erin Hills. Brian Harman will be in the final pairing with Justin Thomas, neither with a major victory. A lefty and a righty. Brooks Koepka, great performance from him. Tommy Fleetwood, watch out for him in Birkdale, folks. It's his home course, and he can play in the wind. But so many in with a chance of winning here. How is it all going to play out in the final round? But from Gil Hanse, from two-time US Open champion Curtis Strange, from the 2011 champion golfer of the year, and for myself, Shane O'Donoghue. Sorry, Darren, I should have name-checked you there. A champion golfer of the year sounds fantastic. We're going to hand it over to Paul Azinger, Brad Faxon, and the one and only Joe Buck in the studio to call him home.
All right, Shane, thank you. As we just rolled through the scoreboard, we are happy to back in our spots now, just off the 18th fairway in our tower, getting set to take you through the rest of the afternoon and into the evening. And with the conditions out there, we will have longer rounds of golf, to be sure, compared to the first 3 days here at Erin Hills. Old Bax is down there on the practice tee, trying to get as much last-second information from those toward the top of the leaderboard as he can. I have the pleasure of sitting next to Paul for the next little bit here. Brad will be back in just a bit. We go to the 15th here. Jordan Spieth for birdie. Best round going on the golf course right now at 3 under. He birdied the first 2 holes. And he's been playing really well here today. And as we said way back when he was beginning his round, fall into the category of too little too late, but will make him feel better heading out of Wisconsin if he can keep this up through the next few holes.
Well, he's low by 2 right now. The fellas are having a little trouble today. Only 8 guys under par. And the wind is really the only defense of a soft golf course. I don't care where you are. They just shot 10 under at Pebble Beach this week. Or they just shot 10 under. Somebody would have shot 10 under at St. Andrews this week. Soft and as light as the wind has been. It's a windswept property, and the architects designed it for that. And it needs wind for defense, and that's another good putt for Spieth. He's really turned it around on the greens. 3 under. He's low by 2 at this point on a Sunday.
Back at 3, Steve Stricker for birdie.
Watching Stricker warm up this morning, and he hit a shot, and I was walking by. I said, Strick. And he turned around and looked at him, didn't watch his shot, and he holed it, and the crowd went absolutely bananas. Stricker never saw it. He's waving at me.
His 20th U.S. Open and getting to do it here in his home state of Wisconsin. And here's Cameron Champ.
It's just going to go. Yeah. I almost want to go like a knockdown 50. If you're going to hit 50, you got to make sure it stays under the line. Well, it would. The height. That's what I'm saying. 29, 22. So smooth 50. 15 steps wide. Yeah. Almost halfway between the tower and flag. Yeah.
A 54-hole score of 212, the lowest score by an amateur through 54 since Bo Hostler posted a 212 at the Olympic Club in 2012.
All right, put a good move on it. Stay level.
So it's only 3 yards from the right side. It's pretty far back at 131 yards. We've seen a lot of shots under 100 yards into the screen today. Not many birdies to this point.
Drove it into the rough, down the left side, off the tee, and
109 birdies total to this point on the first hole, and only 8 of them today.
the amateur leaderboard is impressive. One guy tied for 17th, one guy tied for 27th. We've seen a lot of Cameron Champ the past 3 days, and plenty of Scotty Scheffler, who is at 5. His second shot a moment ago.
It's a straight downwind. This hole can be a real bear into the wind, but they're just going to be hitting wedges into it today.
Now to 9 and Webb Simpson.
72 yards, probably about 8 or 10 yards downhill. Look at the crosswind. Good luck fitting it in there. Big bunker on the right that you just will not see anyone get up and down from, I don't think, today. That's a great shot. I think. Will it stay? Will it stay? It will. We got a couple yards to spare. That would roll all the way down off the green. One birdie at the ninth all day long, and there's that area you see the moving arrows that he just did clear. Got to have the skill set to be able to hit some kind of a holding fade into that pin, and you got to have the courage to do it. Later in the round, when these guys, these leaders come into here, there's no bailout short on number 9 today. You got to get it up there close to pin high, or it's going to roll all the way off the green.
Ryan Brehm made the only birdie here at the 9th, and now Cabrera. Watch out. Good lucky.
Just doesn't hold up there. He's back into the wind, but he's got a terrible lie. That's going to be really tough. He's got a little downslope, and that is real gritty, grainy sand. It's crushed granite. All kinds of little nodules come flying out onto the green. You got to pick up.
I'm going to go here. Speed for par at 15. Boy, that putter has betrayed him. He put it in timeout when the tour was in Texas, and now it's back in his bag. But he hasn't been able to putt like we are accustomed to seeing, especially in a major championship. There's Jamie Lovemark now, his 3rd shot at the opening par 5.
Get this close. He's looking up around the collar there, Joe. It's going to come swinging sideways. Not quite sideways. There you can actually get a real sense of the hill, uphill and then downhill. The wind's not helping him much either. It's tough to get this in there close. Haven't seen anybody really roll it up gimme from here all day. There you go. Not overly complicated greens. They're actually fairly easy to learn and figure out. There are a few greens that can, you know, need your attention, full attention.
Well, the Senior Open is right around the corner, and Steve Stricker is expected to compete along with our own Steve Flesh at Salem Country Club in Peabody, Mass. Turned in a nice performance here this week. Here's Scotty Scheffler for birdie at 5.
Amateur medal up for grabs. That'll be a battle today between those two. Champ here, the other amateur, also sitting at 4 under. Hits a poor putt at the first. If that guy ends up with a wedge game with his ball speed and power, he'll be a superstar.
Par 3, 16th for Speed. Coming off that 3 putt at 15. Beautiful.
As hard as the wind's blowing, even downwind, the greens still don't have a lot of fire in them. They were a lot harder a few days ago before all the rain this week, and it even rained a little bit last night when we left.
Birdie putt for Jamie Lovemark at 1.
Good shots will get rewarded. It's not impossible out there. I mean, these guys are used to playing in a heavy wind, but there's just nothing to stop it here. And the problem with the wind today, Joe, is it's not just steady, it's more gusty than anything. And you know, as this championship progresses, that good shots turning out bad is a real possibility. We've got to see how these guys can handle it down the stretch.
There's Keegan Bradley. 8 iron to the par 3 16th.
The Feskuy's so tall at 16 that they can't see the bottom of the flag. It's been semi-blind par 3 all week. The 6th hole is that way as well. Cabrera Bello, second shot at 9. It's into the wind. That's magic right there. Like pulling a rabbit out of a hat to hit that shot.
Here's Cameron Champ now for par to stay at 4 under. Tied with Scheffler for the low amateur score. Not finished yet. A little bit earlier at 12, second shot here for Gary Woodland. miles for par here at 18. Finishes with a round of 74 today, 7 over for the championship. We go back to Stricker, so two of the older guys. From Else to Stricker, his second shot here at 4.
It's called the primary cut, so you've got a decent opportunity to get this to reach the green.
We will welcome you inside our tower. Joe Buck along with Paul Azinger. Brad Faxon getting as much information as he can down at the practice tee. I guess we'll see what the future holds for Ernie Els, who is playing in his 25th and maybe final U.S. Open. His exemption that he picked up with his win at the British Open runs out this year. He needed to finish in the top 10 to get an automatic entry next year at Shinnecock Hills. We'll find out about that, but let's talk about the golf course and about what we're going to see as these leaders have been waiting for the start of their day. And as we joked about earlier, are you watching on TV? Are you seeing how hard it is out here, or are you putting that out of your mind until you get your feet on the ground?
Everybody's different. I mean, part of me wanted to watch, and then you get so nervous. It's the hardest weight in the world, you know. Be like taking an NBA player, it's the 7th game of the playoffs, and he's got to make a free throw to tie the game with no time on the clock. And then as he's about to make the second one, the official comes in and says, no, you got to shoot it tomorrow. I mean, I'm not saying he won't make it. Just saying it's going to be a rough night's sleep. So, and an anxious wait. You know, that's the thing. It's the waiting that's the hard part. Players don't relax till they get out here. Once you get here and you're back in your element, players feel pretty good. But this wind, you know, it makes a coward of you if you're not careful, and it'll wreck your confidence if you hit a couple good shots that turn out bad, Joe. And that's what they've got to be ready for. And, you know, there's a lot of adjusting, a lot of situational awareness, if you will, and there's no method technique that's going to win today. Field's trumping thought today, and these guys, the guy with the best field is going to end up getting it done.
You think about these professional golfers, the amateurs in the field, they've been saving their best for last, especially those toward the top of the leaderboard. This golf course has saved its best for last. So much talk about the low scores. There won't be many today. The wind is up, the scores will be up, and we will head to the first tee here at Erin Hills.
This is the 1:15 starting time. Please welcome from Spain, Sergio Garcia.
Well, what you got, Sergio? Could post a low number and make people think about him again. 4 under to start his day for this championship and the reigning Masters champion. Tied for 5th last year. Best finish in a U.S. Open, a tie for 3rd in 2005. Playing in his 72nd consecutive major, but for the first time he's playing as a past major champion, although the past just dates back to April.
Eddie Pepperell.
Eddie's 26. Turned pro back in 2011, his 5th year on the European Tour. He's got 16 top 10s. And he starts his day 4 under.
He tweeted last night that his favorite player in golf is Sergio Garcia's playing partner today.
And his favorite player in golf just said beauty on that drive for Eddie Pepperell. Both are safely in the fairway, and they begin their final round here at Erin Hills. Well, there he is, our leader by one. Brian Harman, the lefty. Yeah, that lefty, not the other lefty. 12 under, arriving, getting set to go.
Put those three together in its ideal scoring conditions. So where we are today is we did slow the greens down a little bit. We were cautious with our hole locations, moved a few teeing grounds up. But heck, this is the final round of the U.S. Open. It needs to be a great test of golf, and it will be.
We didn't exactly make it easy. I know that. There's only 8 players under par at the moment for the day, and I looked at all the hole locations, and I thought, uh-oh, this is going to be tough today. And I noticed you shortened a lot of the holes into the wind, and you lengthened some of those that were downwind, and I kind of put a little pressure on you this morning. I mean, the burden is on the USGA to get this right. This is a tricky golf course, lots of tees, and it was supposed to be windy all week. But this is the only day, really, that the burden was on you guys to really think it through.
But, Paul, that's right. And, you know, they still have a soft golf course, so they can control the ball when it hits the ground. It's just when it's in the air, they've got to control their spin, their trajectory. And where we were cautious with hole locations, if you had a downhill putt to a downwind, that's really the combination that can get you into trouble. So we were very cognizant of setting holes where they weren't both downhill, downwind.
There's David Lingmerth, able to make a birdie at the par 4 fourth to get the 4 under. Let's go up ahead to 17, and we continue to talk with Mike Davis. How do you think 18 is going to play today, Mike, as we project forward? And we're going to see somebody come down 18, you would have to believe, with a chance to win, as Spieth can't make the birdie putt, but will have the tap in for par. It is downwind, reachable today, no doubt.
So it's reachable, and we kind of laugh. It's at 675 yards in terms of the tee markers to the middle of the green. And so believe it or not, it is reachable because it is downwind, but we gave them what we think is the easiest hole location probably on the green to really allow some aggressive play. Reason we set tee markers the whole way back is there is such a strong wind behind them. We wanted to see as many drivers as we could.
Well, I like where you have the hole cut today. I was afraid it was going to be on the left on Sunday, and instead it was there yesterday. We saw a few mishaps there yesterday, Mike, and I'm glad it's there. I mean, we're ready for an exciting finish. I like the way the course is set up today. It's not easy, and the players are going to have to play their tails off in the utmost pressure and extreme conditions.
Yeah, you told us, Mike, coming into this week, that this 9th hole, this little par 3 with all the length out here and all the long blowing fescue and everything else, that this 9th hole could be nasty, and it's got a pretty serious crosswind today and certainly not playing easy by any stretch.
Now, Joe, you're exactly right. You know, sometimes the short holes, including par 3s, but it could be par 4s, par 5s, you can get more aggressive with your setup because you know they're going to hit less club in, and this would be the case here at the 9th hole. But it's a back right hole location, and the green feeds essentially front left to back right. So you have to play it that way, and then you put the wind on top of it, and that little architectural feature that, as Gil Hanse says, the thumbprint that's in there that sends balls off the green, and all that together makes for a very precise shot that's required.
So, Mike, I'm holding this green book, and I think we're going to, well, let's wait and watch this shot. But these green books now are so sophisticated. I'm just kind of curious if that's something that you take into consideration. Do you have it in your pocket when you're trying to figure out where to put the holes?
So I don't know how to answer that. I'm going to give you 2 answers.
We're going to show it here after this ball lands on our screen. I couldn't make head or tails of this thing, to be honest with you, as a player.
Well, it's interesting. First of all, yes, I do have one of those, and they are helpful because we do look a lot at percentage slopes. But I will say that what's happened in the last year and a half with these green reading books that's come out is that it's almost allowing a player and a caddy to know where their ball is, to know where the hole location is, and not even read the putt. And frankly, the R&A and USGA are troubled by that, saying part of the game of golf is your ability to read the putts. And so we're actually studying this right now, but in the meantime, they're allowed for the time being.
It's not the arrows aspect of it you're concerned about. It's the fact that they can put numbers in like 2.4 and 4.7 and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's right, Paul. In fact, go a step further. They can get to the point, and we're afraid they will get to the point where you just look at a book and you can calculate that, okay, I've got a 12-foot putt, the greens are running at this speed, this percentage slope, so I know I need to aim 2 inches to the left of the hole, and they didn't even read the putt. They just read a book.
Well, this hole, this 9th hole, is playing as the second toughest hole out there today, scoring average at 3.5. We're looking at Sergio Garcia, long putt for birdie, and we will wind down our time with Mike Davis. I know you have work to be done out there on this final day, we assume, here at Erin Hills. Just by way of a summary, I personally, I talked to a lot of players this week, didn't talk to anybody who didn't tell me that this golf course was tough but fair. And you know, even Rory McIlroy on his way out of the door loved the golf course. I think all in all, people walk away from this experience at Erin Hills going, this is a place I want to play. And for you as the executive director of the USGA, I assume, and I want to ask you, I assume you're pleased with the way this week has gone here.
Joe, it's been a wonderful host site. You know, when we chose it, one of the things that appealed to us was this wonderful piece of land, this well draining. We got several inches of rain, and look at it, there's no mud out there, and so that's part of it, because you can get the golf course better, there's better spectator experience. So I think we've been very pleased. Like you do at any one of these things, if you had to do it over, you'd make a few alterations here and there, but great start to a golf course that's only a dozen years old.
Mike, thanks. Thanks for all the cooperation over the week and certainly the past couple of years, and we look forward to more heading forward.
Thanks, guys.
That's Mike Davis, Executive Director and CEO of the USGA. He's had his hands full today, no doubt. And here's Stricker. Opportunity here at the 5th to get to 2 under par for the championship. Zinger, I was thinking as we were looking at Amy Saunders, who was so good in that piece about her father, Arnold Palmer. She's known as Arnold Palmer's daughter, and maybe someday will be known just as much being Sam Saunders' mom.
Yeah, no kidding. Sam Saunders
on tour that can really play.
That's a fact.
Here's Sergio. He likes to say, pull the chain.
That's his downswing key, is pull the chain. What does that mean to Sergio? I don't know. Try it tomorrow, see what it means to you.
Able to chase that near the front of the green. Just a low heater he hit in here at 2. Let's go back to the practice round and watch him pull the chain.
Pull the chain, Sergio. Well, this is really amazing how much lag Sergio gets. Watch how much he loads into his right leg and gets behind it. There's no sway, but he's all into his right side, and there's the pull of the chain right from the top. And then it looks like he's putting his right hand on his kneecap. And nobody drives it better than Sergio Garcia for distance and accuracy. And if there's any doubt that the club swings in an arc, it's every one of these swings we've seen from the top, Joe. Every single club head swings to the left in that arc, and the ball's headed right on down the target line.
So Sergio walks to what he hopes will be a birdie here at the 2nd. He parred 1. Here's Randolph, his 2nd shot at the par 3, able to creep that onto the green.
Ninth hole tee box is way up in the air, and that's a big part of the difficulty of that tee shot, is that you can't really predetermine your trajectory. It's predetermined for you. And while guys want to knock it down in that crosswind, they're not able to really get the ball down out of the wind there at 9. Lingmerth at 5, playing straight downwind today, the 5th. 500-yard par 4, hole cut on the front. None of us were sure whether or not anybody would be able to get it close, but they have been able to. It's still pretty soft from all the rain this week. These guys at 4 under, they kind of have a hope and a prayer that maybe they can post 9 or 10 or something, maybe shoot a 6 under. minds, in the back of their minds, there's still a little hope. No pressure at this point. I believe all of them feel like if they can really conjure up some magic today, that you never know.
Well, Lingmerth is conjuring up some magic. 2 under for his round today with the windy conditions. You can visit usopen.com/VUSO to virtually play Erin Hills and compete for a chance to win a trip to the 2018 U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills. Here's Stricker now for birdie at 5.
Stricker's a guy who did hit it in there close at the 5th. This guy's won 5 Wisconsin State Opens, last one in 2000. His wife was the Golfer of the Year, Wisconsin Badgers Golfer of the Year 1980. A heck of a golf family.
And he can always roll it. 2 under for the 50-year-old. Well, not as easy as it's been earlier in this week. Here on a Sunday, that hole location cut toward the back, and Garcia now with this little effort here, his second shot at 2.
The screen runs away. It's extremely fast, but back into the wind. A lot of times these players, all they want to do is just hit these little spinny saucers. We'll see if he tries to one-hop it back there or run it.
Oh, yeah.
A little combination of both, but that's not going to stay, Joe. That's going to go all the way off the green.
Over.
He hit such a nice shot. He's shocked by that. He's on a nice upslope, pitching back up the hill, downwind. That caught Sergio by surprise.
Boy, that was just nasty. That ball had a little check to it and just trickled, and off the back it went, and here's why.
Yeah, it's my favorite hole location of the day. This is the smallest green on the course, and actually they made it twice as big as it currently is a few years ago. And you can see that just ever so slightly past the hole is going to run all the way down to the bottom. It's in your father's U.S. Open. Not a lot of rough around the greens this week. These guys are pitching off tight cherry lies. Let's see him go to toe side of center on this one. And that's going to do the same thing. Or not. Oh, boy.
Those two are surprised. Those balls are over the green. While they were playing, here's Jonathan Randolph for par at 9. Can't get it up and down out of the bunker. Here's Trey Mullinax for birdie at the par 5 first hole.
That putt snaps.
All right. A little different approach here for Sergio Garcia over the green at 2.
Roll is fairway metal. Fairway wood. I can't say fairway metal. I'm too old. Throwing his fairway wood up there. I don't know why it's easier with this club than a putter, but somehow it feels like it is. Good speed, just misread it. Thought it was going to snap up that hill, but it didn't. And a little chicken left on that bone.
To try to stay at 4 under, 8 back. Past champion Jordan Spieth, second shot at 18.
A really good line.
That's a mammoth tee shot. And Jordan able to reach the green. Get used to seeing that. 681 yards downwind. Where's that going to end up? That'll stay on. Have a putt for eagle. Round of the day so far. Jordan Spieth only 2 under.
Pepperell for birdie at 2. Teammate of Justin Thomas's at Alabama. Mullinex, and here's Casey. Oh, that's a stick. Paul Casey with a couple of triples this week. His undoing. Now Garcia trying to clean up his par. Well done.
You know, Joe, like I say, in our minds, 4 under's got no chance, but not in their mind. In their mind, they know that if they can really get something going, they can post.
Well, here's 6 under. J.B. Holmes' second shot at 1.
A couple bombs there for J.B. to reach into. First hole playing a crosswind mostly. The second shot a little bit downwind, and this guy takes it back that short. One of the longest hitters on the planet. Lots of club head speed right there at the bottom. Big, powerful guy, thick chest. It's just about every shot right on the sweet spot. You rarely see J.B. Holmes get a shot unsolid.
Now second rip for Matsuyama at 1.
Look at that. And there's another guy whose swing is short of parallel. My old coach John Redmond used to say to me all the time, son, I've never lengthened one swing, but I've shortened thousands.
Let's go to 6. Second shot for Steve Stricker at the par 3. th U.S. Open for Steve, his first since 2014. Best finish is 5th. He accomplished that twice in 98 and 99. And here we are in 2017, and he's really played well.
Yeah, he has. Look at him getting a little chip shot from right here on the fringe. You think that's not confident? Come on, Stricker. What a good shot. That's a tricky hole location today, right on the front of the green, straight downwind, playing 199 yards. There's a false front there if you don't reach. It's a dicey little chip back onto that green.
Here's Spieth for eagle at 18.
Well, they always say Jordan's not the longest hitter, but he's long enough. 2 shots to go 681 yards. You're long enough in my book. Another thing my coach Redmond used to say too was the woods are full of long hitters, and you know we admire these guys that can hit it a mile, but you never heard of them unless they can hit it straight, Joe.
Well, our leader in this championship, Brian Harman, certainly not the longest hitter in the field, but he's got the best score. Here's Casey at 4 for par. This would be 3 in a row for David Lingmerth as he lines up his birdie putt at 6.
That's a heck of a shot to get it to stop short of the hole. Putt will be pretty fast. And there's a false front here. He's standing right about on it. If that ball was where his feet are, it probably would have rolled back down there where Steve Stricker was just a minute ago. He's trying to get this just right. Not everybody uses a line, but the guys that do, pretty precise about it. It's a weird way to walk in, huh? You know, that's maybe a little bit of the L theory. You kind of figure out the read, and then you make a 90-degree from the line you want the ball to start on to the ball, and then make a 90-degree to that line. It's like he almost looked for the line for his feet disregarded the line he wants to start on. Whatever it was, it almost worked. And that would be a paint job in my book. Could have easily gone in.
Well, this is a birdie putt for Jordan Spieth to shoot 69. Show that score in the 60s can be done. And by the way, he will have started his day in the worst of the conditions that any of the golfers will face all day. It's supposed to get better, less windy as the day progresses.
A couple marshals on the driving range asked me if I thought anyone would break 70, and I just kind of mock laughed at him. I said, are you kidding me? These are the best players on the planet. Of course somebody's going to break 70.
And Jordan has done that. 1 over for the championship. Great face for the game of golf. And now he will go to wherever he wants to go, and he will be rooting for his good buddy, Justin Thomas. Another good buddy of his is Ricky Fowler. Less than 45 minutes away from the start of his 4th round.
It'd be more fun if these guys all disliked each other than the fact that they're all friends.
Well, that brings up an entirely different conversation. That's our Rolex countdown to the start time for Ricky Fowler. Brad Faxon is back with us here. And
how about that? He didn't even cover home plate. No. Just was standing like lost. I mean, last ball.
We're talking about baseball out on the practice tee. And Fax, what do you got?
Well, obviously that's Butch Harmon, and no doubt that's Ricky Fowler getting ready. Butch said on the range just a little while ago that he said we got to work on Ricky's transition here on his downswing. He was getting a little quick in transition. If you notice the statistics here, 21% of his misses were to the left, leads the field. Misses to the left, or actually he leads the leaderboard of guys missing the left, and he said I can fix this in 5 swings. So you know, you watch Ricky, one of the smaller players on the tour in stature, but we're going to talk about a little bit about shoulder turn, and maybe let's talk about this age-old. And watch Ricky right here. Look where that visor is starting his swing, and this is just a little mid-iron.
You know, as good as all that was, I think my favorite thing is that Butch said I can fix that in 5 swings. And I tell you what, if you're a good player and you're getting a lesson and you're not a little bit better in the first 5 or 10 minutes, you're getting bad information because you're the physically smart guy, and the guy that's teaching you is probably guessing. So grab your stuff and run. Now, that doesn't mean you might not want to make an overhaul of some kind or agree with the change, but for the most part, it doesn't take long. Great players need reminders. They don't need lessons.
Yeah, but as far as like, you can't try and go up against it. Yeah, so you kind of have to do this here.
Which is reminding Ricky of something that he's felt in the past. I guarantee you there's no changing of anything here. Ricky's searching for feels, not thoughts.
You know, Ricky, we said it earlier in the telecast in the beginning of the week, he plays with clubs that are a half-inch shorter. He went to a shorter driver, all for control. He doesn't need any more power. Butch said, and it was so nonchalant the way he said it, this guy can keep the ball down. I'm not worried about Ricky Fowler.
Steve Flesch is down there. Steve, what are you learning?
Well, I'm just noticing how all these good players are on the left edge of this tee box on the practice range, using the right to left breeze. None of them are trying to, hold anything up into the wind. The right to left wind for a right-handed player is optimal to practice in. Ben Hogan always said, if the wind's hitting my back, I'm not hitting balls that day. You don't want to practice in a slice wind.
Well, you know what? You bring up a good point. We got one left-hander, and he happens to be the leader, Brian Harmon. And so where's he going to hit from? Because the wind's going to be hitting him in the back. There's an area on that practice facility way to the right of where Ricky Fowler is, where he may be able to hit back into the wind. Otherwise, Harmon has to warm up in a bad wind.
We'll find out when Harmon goes out there and starts his day. Both these two made birdie at 1. Matsuyama and J.B. Holmes. Arnold Palmer said about that 7-stroke comeback at Cherry Hills, the most rewarding things you do in life are often the ones that look like they cannot be done. Who's going to do it today?
Okay, think big, think bold, think new, think...
Morning! What do you remember? He's just 23. A winner of this championship at the age of 21 at Chambers Bay. That is his only top 10, that win 2 years ago. Here's J.B. Holmes, his second shot at 2.
Well, he had a little steeper descent there. Joe spun the ball and kept a little short. Better than going over here. And now Jamie Lovemark from the left rough on 5. Massive drive.
All right, good.
Might go in.
Good shot.
Beautiful shot out of the primary rough there by Jamie Lovemark. Maturing as a golfer. Trey Mullinax, Justin Thomas's teammate. We keep saying that. One of my favorite swings I've seen this week. He can smoke it. Ability to hit it high up in the air and stop it, and also to hit it down. A lot of control of what he's doing. Put that name in your memory bank. Now JB back for birdie on 2. And, you know, you talk about all the instructors are here. We saw Butch with Ricky. There's an instructor named Matt Killen from Kentucky that works here with JB and with Justin Thomas. He's got a lot of guy to work for. And you can see JB looking at that greens book. That's for confirmation or affirmation in what these guys are seeing with their eyes. Is it really what's actual? I like trusting what you see with your eyes, not what you see on a piece of paper.
I like to feel it in your feet too.
Absolutely. Definitely feel it in your feet. And I think it's something the best putters in the world have already done. They do it subconsciously. They do it innately.
You know, the Eagles wrote that song about you can't hide your lying eyes. Sometimes your eyes can fool you, though, and you need another pair of eyes to look and fix what's not, so that you, well, what you can't actually see or feel.
Here's Xander Schauffele for birdie, just leaving it short at 1.
It's interesting, that putt from behind the hole doesn't break very much at all, but if you're short, you're going to play somewhere about 10 or 15 feet of break all the way up into the collar of the green, so you want to get past that first hole if you can.
This is Matsuyama with a chance to get to 8 under.
Matsuyama in a position where he can go out there and get red hot. He's far enough out in front to post. Yank that.
Sometimes you have to try and play the wind thinking you can get that gust, and certainly a miss there. He's looked unsettled a lot.
Our Lexus Tracer with Sergio Garcia on the tee at 4.
Yeah, Sergio, he's able to work the ball both directions. He's fallen in love with that little butter cut.
Just a perfect shot. Here at 4, it's on the line today, folks. Final round coverage of the U.S. Open on Fox. This is a moment ago. Second shot at 4 for Sergio Garcia.
Only 123 yards. Uphill second shot into the wind. Yeah, one thing to watch for today is who can hit it pin high in these conditions. That's what I'm looking for.
Here's Brendan Steele at 1, his third shot.
He got undone on 17 yesterday, missed the green to the right, made double bogey. He's hitting it as well as anybody in the field. Just to work a little magic today to get back in contention.
This is the 9th green. Michael Putnam shot, and you see the graphic of the wind, not just speed, but the direction. And when you look at this hole location, which is way in the back right, you see it's 172 yards. That was 135 yesterday. Tiny target.
Brad, that wind graphic showed 15 miles an hour, which was about a 9 to 10 mile an hour drop from what we had this morning. The wind is forecast to lay down after the leaders get underway.
So I agree. I think it's a hold starting on the yellow stage. You know what I mean? Or even just a touch right of that, the guy. Yep. And we want it coming down. The lady in pink just right to hit the ball. Mm-hmm. What do you think in that hold number? So we're trying to land it adjusted 50 kilo, correct? Correct. Probably playing 48? Yeah, I was thinking 50 in my mind the whole time. Okay. Just a hold on that guy? Yep. Perfect.
Okay, so the correct shot to play here is to hit some kind of a straight ball. If you draw it and let it ride on that wind, pretty tough to get it close. See if anybody's really willing to hit a cut down that hill. That looks like a cut swing, Brad.
Yeah, but he had a cut swing going, a kind of a shut-face fade. Works with Mark Blackburn, who was here earlier in the week. And Chappell's a good wind player. He's playing a lot of knockdowns on that sort of right to left wind they had in the driving range. Now over to 3. Matsuyama, see if he can get this pin high, see.
Only one birdie on the 3rd hole today, Brad. This is a monster. Go. 500 yards into a 20-mile-an-hour wind. He doesn't get there, and he would much rather had that in the bunker. Just a mile short.
There's Sergio Garcia for birdie at 4 to get to 5 under.
There you go. Way to convert there. It almost snuck away.
The closest major winners to the lead at the start of this day. 8 shots back. Sergio and Oosthuizen. Here's Steele for birdie at 1.
Everybody's left it woefully short there, and I think the reason why is because you don't want to be 2 or 3 feet by. There's quite a slope there to the right of that hole.
J.B. Holmes, another shut-face fader, really opens his body hard through the ball. Ooh, right on line.
Good job, man.
Grant Snedeker has been tremendous, especially at this facet of the game. By the way, you can hear the plane overhead that's buzzing. That's not our aircraft that's up there. And there are people complaining on social media about the sound from that aircraft overhead. This is not restricted airspace, so.
Wait. Somebody on social media is complaining.
We just had Admiral
The
Fargo
news
here.
for it.
Maybe we should get him after him.
He's been doing that all week, just rolling it brilliantly. So the point is, we can do nothing about the sound. We'll just all have to bear with the turning prop there overhead, and that's the reaction from Brandt, who came close to starting his day the right way.
Sergio now turning back downwind here on 5. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right into the wind, or a little bit across now. Hoist this thing up in the air. Not too many guys can drive it better than Sergio's been driving it the last few years. What a display.
That is a mile down there. It's about 340 yards.
They're making a mockery of this hole this week. Now here's Schauffele for birdie. This guy was intense on the range. He didn't say much to anybody. Really went about his business. He's impressing everybody with quality play so far. It gets him within 4. Xander Schauffele.
A moment ago at 10. This is Matt Kuchar. If it goes in, you know what will happen after.
No boo?
No, it's not booing, Paul.
Do you know this is going in, Joe?
No, I would assume. The Kuchar.
Hey, I'm Kuchar. They should be.
Oh, Mr. Orange Pants getting set to go. Ricky Fowler, the 28-year-old, is this his week? How about Patrick Reed? Can he win a major? We're about to find out. Third shot here for Bill Haas at 1. Bill has birdied this opening par 5 all 3 rounds.
Be pretty brave here, flying all the way to the hole, knowing if you miss a little bit long right, big trouble. A little bit long over the flag is great. That is pretty good and getting better all the time. Right back up the hill, that won't have a lot of movement. Good shot, a good start for Bill Haas.
Playing in his 9th U.S. Open. Best finish to tie for 23rd. In a pretty decent position here this week. Here is Matsuyama for par at 3.
A good putt there after not a very good putt on number 2.
Third shot for Charlie Hoffman at 1. He's gone par, birdie, birdie on this hole this week.
That'll also be a pretty straight putt for Charlie. Maybe move a little bit to the right. So 2 very good looks on the first hole. A couple players sitting at 7 and 8 under.
We're going to head back to the first tee. Be Patrick Reed and Russell Henley. Patrick Reed wears a red shirt. He said his way of channeling the power of Tiger Woods. If you ask the question, is Patrick superstitious? He only plays golf with balls with the number 3. He always has exactly 12 balls in his bag. He marks his ball tail side up with a 1927 quarter. Carries exactly 6 tees in his pocket. If he starts breaking them, he has to get down to 0 tees before he starts to reload.
Well, that's just typical. Golfers are all pretty crazy, actually, when you get right down to it. That's a little over the top, Brad. Were you superstitious?
I never liked Titleist 4s.
It's bad luck to not be superstitious. Here they are.
This is the 2:21 starting time. Please welcome from Kiawah Island, South Carolina, Russell Henley.
3-time winner on the PGA Tour, 28-year-old, ranked 57th in the world, and his best finish in a U.S. Open, tied for 16th as an amateur in 2010.
And from Houston, Texas, Patrick Reed.
Despite all the success at the Ryder Cup, this year's been a struggle. 1 top 10 in 18 events. And that happened back in the Tournament of Champions in January. Tied for 6th. That's it. Ranked 19th in the world. Best finish in a U.S. Open, tied for 14th at Chambers Bay.
The left side's the shorter side to come in from. Both of those guys may be able to reach here.
Let's take a look from above at the routing of the golf course. Starts on a par 5. It ends on a par 5. First time for a U.S. Open since the late 20s. So in the modern age of golf, that's a first. So that 9th hole, that tricky, tough, windy par 3. And there's the finishing hole, 18, which measures at 681 yards. But as you can see by the arrows, straight downwind.
Yeah, and the players are going to have to deal with all kinds of different wind conditions today. They're going to have to adjust their feels on the fly. They're going to have to hold the ball on the wind and let it ride. That's the big challenge today, is how can they manage the wind?
The USGA wants to hear from you. The USGA and R&A have proposed sweeping changes to modernize golf's rules and are inviting you to share your feedback. Visit usga.org/rules or follow #GolfRules2019. Hoffman missed his birdie try, and now Bill Haas comes up short with his try for birdie here at 1. Top 50 player in the world, and 35-year-old heads to the second tee. Here's Steele at 2.
Yeah, the #1 scrambler on the PGA Tour this year. And look at this. Can you get better than #1? Look at him looking into the camera.
This guy's got the guts of a burglar, Brad. He's one of those players that can sneak in there.
Well, he's way up there. There's a lot of stats that you want to have. Overall stats, driving distance, and it really helps in these windy conditions. And now, alongside him, Snedeker. He playing up, yes! Boy, most guys haven't played that enough, and it's been diving to the right. That's a pretty nice little pairing there. Now we saw Sergio whip that drive right down the center.
What else we saw, Brad? We saw him hit a great wedge into the wind, uphill at 4. Now, probably a wedge here downwind. Sergio controlling his distance both directions.
What'd you say about pin high back there, Paul? You can do it against the wind or downwind. Incredible.
Ches Reavie for birdie at 6. Yesterday was a birdie barrage, and we're seeing him find the bottom of the pier in round 4. We'll take a break, and when we come back, Fowler, Kim, 2 former Players Champions from the local fans here who live and die by the fate of the Packers, and for my money, they'll be good going into every year as long as Aaron Rodgers is around and he's healthy. So Ricky Fowler getting set to go. He will begin his day 2 shots back of Brian Harman. And he'll be playing alongside Si Woo Kim, the 21-year-old who is playing in his first U.S. Open. And Kim is right there 3 shots back at 9 under par.
Both of these guys have won a Players Championship. Ricky Fowler, the most experience of anybody on this leaderboard. And somebody expect to make a move today. This is a big moment for Ricky Fowler.
This is the 2:32 starting time. Please welcome, from Republic of Korea, Si Woo Kim.
When he won the Players Championship this year at the age of 21, he became the youngest winner of that great event. Became the first player from Asia with 2 PGA Tour wins before his 22nd birthday. So brilliant out of the bunkers that week. See how he does here at the par 5 opening hole.
Ricky Fowler.
Missed the cut the last couple of years, but tied for second in 2014. That was the good news. The bad news, he was 8 shots behind Martin Kaymer, the winner. Top 10 player in the world. 1 win this season. It came in Florida.
you're young, you think you'll get a lot of chances to be in this position, but you never know how many more times you'll get this chance. Ricky Fowler with another great opportunity today.
Third shot for Russell Henley.
That's how it's done right there.
He's going to be 3 shots back. Over at the practice tee, Justin Thomas is getting set to go. He's had a long time to wait after his record-setting 9 under yesterday. Shot 63 with an eagle at the last. And our Rolex marquee pairing, they'll be alongside the lefty and our leader, Brian Harman. 1 shot separating the two, and a little tail of the tape between the two. Harman on the right, Thomas on the left, Alabama on the left, Georgia on the right. And they're not big guys, 5'10", 5'7". You see the weight. Harman's the heavier of the two at 150. But look at that bottom line. Their average driving distance over 315 for Thomas. This is a birdie try for Patrick Reed here, 1.
Yeah, they're 21 yards apart in driving distance. This is a big swinging putt, kind of slow.
This is 9, and that's Jim Furyk, 47-year-old Ryder Cup captain next year. This green is only being hit by the players 38% of the time today, and #1 on the golf course in difficulty. Send it, Jim! I don't know if that's a smart play or really the only play. We start with the flag and hit it solidly. That's where it's going to end up.
Well, we saw the great shot in here by Henley. If he knocks this in, he'll go to 9 under, only 3 shots back. Patrick Reed made his par. Henley, a birdie. Matsuyama for birdie at 4. Oh! 8 under. He's 181st in strokes gained putting on the PGA Tour this year. That a big one here at 4. This a moment ago at 2.
Bill Haas's second shot. Oh, lovely action there. It's been such a hard shot to judge the speed. Really well done for Bill Haas.
Ricky Fowler has gone birdie, par, birdie the first 3 rounds. Here he is at 1.
Ricky's got 316 left from here. Just going to lay it up. 200 yards will give him 115 to the hole.
Joe Scott and his caddy liked it. And you can see why. Ricky's been so good with a wedge in his hands this week. Siwoo Kim now.
A great tee shot here, just 3 yards ahead of Ricky. And make practically the same play. Wind out of the west right now. Going about 10 to 12.
Pretty cool looking shot. He just held off whatever that was, 3-wood or 5-wood. Just tucked inside the first cut of rough. Big difference. A couple inches right there.
Everybody that made the cut is the world golf ranking, and this is just his second U.S. Open. He tied for 27th at Chambers Bay in 2015, fired a 69 in his final round there.
got to believe it's like throwing a rabbit in a briar patch when you get a guy from Europe playing in the wind.
And from West Palm Beach, Florida, Brooks Koepka.
When the crowd dies down, you can hear the effect of the wind on one of those tarps back there. It sounds like somebody's applauding while these guys are teeing off. Brooks Koepka right out of the gym earlier this morning and on to the practice tee, and now the opening hole. Best time for fourth 3 years ago. And he can bomb it. He was a Florida State Seminole there, Zinger, just like you.
Yeah, he sure was. He's got a bright future. Real likable guy. All kinds of power. He needs to display some touch today as well.
This shot needs some touch. Patrick Reed sounded like he chunked that one a little bit. Just a little bit behind it.
The roar you may have heard when they were walking off the tee at one is for what happened up ahead. Here's Ricky for birdie. One back. Now Siwoo Kim for birdie.
This just 16 feet. Awkwardly straight is how I would describe this putt. Looks like it has to go right, but it just flattens out.
Such a good read on your part, Steve. We've seen it all day. Funny thing is, from below the hole, it breaks about, well, it breaks a ton. We'll just say that, depending on how short you are.
Here's Matsuyama. This was just a moment ago on 5. 500 yards downwind with the front right hole location. Helps to be in this fairway. Oh, and like Sergio Garcia, Matsuyama pulls the string and stops it for a gimme. Patrick Reed surveying the green on 2, and this green has already had a bunch of 3 putts from just within around 20 feet range, 20-foot range. We saw earlier in the day, Lee Westwood had a ball low about a foot away from where he originally was.
Yes, they don't have anything, stopping this wind right here. So he's got down grain, down the hill, but he's back up into the wind. And he did hit that shot a little chunky. Wasn't what he was looking for. It's about a 25, 30 footer. Should go a little bit right to left on it.
Boy, Julie, that was a nice putt. Got to be very careful there. That ball can get away from these players. Now this is back on the tee. Fowler after an unbelievable birdie putt there. And here's how the players in the field have played this today. You can see that safe area over to the left, blind to the player from the tee, and then these longer hitters that go for it. And the scoring average distance, boy, Fowler has the ability to get it down there where everybody's been, but nobody's driven on the green yet.
With 3 teeing grounds up on the second here, it's just 225 to carry this right-hand fairway bunker.
Tracer on the right. Oh, he gets a nice bounce off the downslope there. We'll have a little uphill pitch. A1 right there. We're talking about that shoulder turn and how much his head is tilted. And I got to give credit to Andy Plummer from Stack and Tilt. I mean, all the guys that talk about keeping their bodies still, Andy and Mike Bennett, they were the one that told me about how you can move the neck so much to increase your shoulder turn. Let's see Kim now. Driver.
strategic change for Ricky Fowler. He laid up off this tee yesterday, playing a lot more conservative. Went with the driver today, Brad, into the wind. Now it's got it right there in the little birdie zone.
Well, like Steve Flesch said, they moved the tee markers so far up, so almost everybody can get it over those bunkers. Now watch out for Russell Henley. Not many guys can get more confident with a putter when he gets it going, but he's been driving it well this week. If anything, he needs to make some putts compared to his driving.
Here's Fleetwood at 1 second shot.
Kind of flattish lie, a lot of undulations in this fairway, so he's found a level spot. Just going to lay up down the right side. 200 yards, even just over 100 for his third.
Copy? Yeah. I got it right on those guys, the cameraman up there? Yeah. Fleetwood so far this week has gone birdie, bogey, birdie here at 1. Koepka, par, bogey, birdie. He's next.
305 took the flag. Been on the 20, so been straight off the right. And there we go at it. Brave.
He's only the 5th player to put it on that green in 2 today. Good start for Koepka.
Matsuyama at 6.
Straight downwind. Greens are soft enough. The ball actually can hit the screen and hold. There's an example of it. Will it stay? No, there's a false front there. It's going to feed that ball all the way back. And that's going to be delicate now because that's really uphill and then downhill to the flag, downwind.
Let's go to 10, and this was a little bit earlier. David Lingmerth for birdie.
Hello, stranger.
Three under for this final round here at Erin Hills. And Steve Stricker hands him his golf ball. Aerial coverage provided by Microsoft. We check in on the par 3, hole number 6. Holmes.
Probably only playing about 183 or 4. Now you see the difference when the ball lands past that false front.
These guys are getting ready at the first tee. Justin Thomas worth another look at the 3rd round. Here he is at the 5th for birdie, putting away from the hole.
This is just really kind of potluck, poke and hope. Bingo.
4 under. Here he is at 15, his tee shot. 3-wood.
Oh, come on. Be as good as you look.
And it was up the hill, back down, and even though he shot 63, he would miss this eagle putt and make birdie at 15.
Joey said he yipped it. He yipped it when he shot 63.
Here he is at 17, long putt.
This was the one right here where you really knew something special was happening. But the tee shot he hit on 18 was spectacular and set him up, Joe, with this 3-wood from 299 yards.
Get in the hole! Yeah, J2. Oh, gosh, Jimmy, be good. Hit it good?
Made it. number 63. After calming the nerves.
Shake out that tension, buddy. There you go.
Trying to end his day, an historic day, with an eagle.
The hardest thing after you shoot a score like that is to follow it up, and he's got to follow it up under excruciating pressure, waiting all day for this moment. Justin Thomas with his greatest chance to win a major.
This is the 2:54 starting time. Please welcome from Goshen, Kentucky, Justin Thomas.
Three wins this season. Four-time winner on the PGA Tour and his third U.S. Open.
And from Sea Island, Georgia, Brian Harman.
And now our leader, Brian Harman. See how Harman follows that tee shot by Thomas that's in trouble down the left side. First time Brian Harman has made the cut in a U.S. Open, and he's the 54-hole leader.
Those are the two worst tee shots we've seen in the last couple of hours. I really do feel like it was a tough warm-up for Brian Harman with the wind over his shoulders. Justin Thomas into the hazard.
Well, while they were hitting off the tee, that was Fowler's second shot. Two. Boy, and that, he made that look easy. A lot of players have hit it over the back of the green there. And now for a birdie from just over 4 feet. See him buckle his knees immediately. You know, a lot of time the wind can play tricks right away. Wasted a shot there.
Koepka for eagle at 1. Everybody's done that from down there. We've seen a lot of 3-putts from there.
We're on 3 now. Russell Henley.
And from the severe uphill lie, he's trying to hit a 4-iron in there.
Well, Julie, he lost that up to the right. The wind gobbled it up, but he got a very good break not to go into the tallest of the fescue. Now back to Fowler for his par. These opening 2 holes have been among the easiest on the golf course all week long. So if you don't make a birdie on one of these first 2 today, you've definitely lost at least a half a shot to a full shot on this field.
Fields made 236 birdies from the first 2 holes.
Tommy Fleetwood.
A nice approach shot, pin high left, me just virtually putting straight uphill, get a pin high here.
Right where Ricky Fowler putted from a moment ago, Ken.
Good angle.
Everything's short. And it's something to watch for as well, because when they're really feeling the pressure and the nerves, it's hard to reach on mid-range putts. And so far, these 2 guys both leaving it short. Koepka left a lot of putts short yesterday, so that's something to watch for today as we get through the round.
Birdie try at number 6 for Matsuyama.
Uphill, downhill. Always knew that was going to be tough to judge. Ernie Els nearly 4-putted this green earlier today.
Fleetwood makes his par at 1.
And I mentioned that Koepka left a lot of putts short yesterday. Got the kind of close but no cigar award. He hit some great putts that didn't go in, but That downhiller at 18 he left short. This is slow.
Yeah, and this is one, if he does lose pace, he'll dive left. He'll be fully aware of that. He's just got to keep a bit of momentum on the back to allow for a decent break. But there are worse dangers apart from this.
It's not a hard putt. Normal situations. How he feels here. Good putt and a good start for Koepka, taking advantage of his length at the first, knocking it on in 2. Tied for the lead.
Ryan Harmon will be first to play out of the rough down the right side. His final pairing, they both pulled their tee shots. Thomas down the left side, Harmon the lefty down the right side.
Yeah, Joe, Brian Harmon is so far back in the right. There's a bunker that's 198 to the front of the green. I'm not sure he can carry it. Very suspect lie. In the primary rough, but down, sitting down thick. If he has to lay up with his bunker, he's going to have well over 200 in.
Curtis. So, you're surprised by that start by these two guys after their warm-up?
Well, to answer your question about warming up, they could get to the far left end of the range. They all hit right back into the wind, so the wind was no issue. But, you know, their first tee jitters. Everybody's human. He laid up short of this bunker. That's the only play he really had.
So a long third shot coming for Harmon.
That's the situation. Go ahead, Curtis.
Yeah, he's in the primary rough. The lie is not the issue. The ball above his feet is the issue. He's actually in the hazard, ball and feet. Once again, it's not about how far you can hit it. It's about getting the second shot in play.
Shot.
From the long grass into the short grass for Justin Thomas, who is one shot back. His day just getting started. A windy day here at Erin Hills. Final round coverage on Fox in a wide open Harmon.
Back from 226 back into a right to left wind.
He reached this green in 2 yesterday.
Yeah.
He's not reached it in 3 today. That's a tough putt he's left himself with right there.
Here's a par putt for Matsuyama while we were away.
Saw him hit a really good tee shot that landed on the green and then rolled backwards off the green, down into the collar. It's a 3-putt short of the green. Bogey for Matsuyama. Back to 8 under.
Third shot for Justin Thomas.
Really, it's 161, but it's all about judging this wind coming right into the right.
Going to shoot right over his ball?
Yeah. Or starting at the flag and they'll turn a little.
Just coming down on that ball.
Just 150 yards.
Guard against missing the screen to the right. It's out shot. Settle. Well, settle his nerves if he can 2-putt that and get the heck out of here.
Over on 5, Xander Schauffele. This is putt for birdie. Beautiful putt there. And Schauffele surprising everybody still all week long. 2 birdies and a bogey for his start. Now Fowler's second shot.
That was 207 to the wind for Ricky, into about a 15-mile-an-hour breeze, playing 230.
Well, it looked like a decent lie down there, Steve.
It was decent, but it's just a lot of ground to cover out of that rough uphill into the wind.
A little unlucky there. That hit in the face of the bunker there and just pitched forward a little bit. If it flew another foot, it would have been great.
Be precise, yeah.
Now Tommy Fleetwood with this little pitch from below here on 2.
Bit of a tight line, a little hollow here. Not the greatest of angles, but plenty of landing area. The tricky bit is the last 12 feet of this pitch. The green really does run away from it. It's not too difficult to flick it over the bank. But back into the breeze, perfect lie for giving one a nip.
That's not too bad there. Look straight up the hill, back into the wind. It'll be much easier for these players if they can be putting into the wind rather than downwind.
All right, stay aggressive.
And now our championship co-leader, Brooks Koepka.
Slightly more awkward angle this one. He's got to go across just the edge of the green, have to pop it a little bit higher in the air.
Good contact. Oh. Beautiful touch for Koepka. And that little putt to get the 13 under par. He may finish that hole. Yeah, look at this. This is his best 54 position in the majors. 2017 U.S. Open. He's tied for second. What's going to happen today? Finished twice, tied for 4th. Tied for 5th at that 2015 PGA Championship. And what a beautiful start here for Koepka. Now Fowler's third shot at 3. He likes this ball is a little bit back in his stance. These fescue fairways are allowing the players to just grip that golf ball. You can see how his hands are forward here. That ball's back. He's going to pinch this sucker. Base stays open, club head stays low, and then it just stops right there. You like that thing?
Love that.
A glass of water on it, right?
That was beautiful.
Awesome.
Tickets for next June's 118th U.S. Open Championship at Shinnecock Hills are now on sale. Visit usopen.com and click the icon for tickets for more information. Back to 1 and Brian Harman.
Just breaks a mile and everybody's come up short. He's got the amount of break, but there's just no way to be able to see that it's that slow. All the best players have done exactly that. Have